we got the news for you. We on top of it though. So we're gonna start opening story today. Powerball is at $1.9 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, $1.9 billion. That means if you win the Powerball and pay your taxes, you walk away with a smooth bill. Smooth bill. And I'm not trying to say what you should do to invest in your future, but I'm gonna go get me a goddamn ticket. A couple of tickets. Gotta play my birthday, my mama's birthday, my son's birthday. Let's get into the news for real. We are into Elon Musk reign of Twitter. And it is absolutely interesting because since the official takeover of Twitter by Elon Musk, the N-word has exploded to a use of 500% more. 500% more.
God damn.
Niggas are saying nigga so much on Twitter. And here's the thing, let's be honest, it's not us. We use the N-word as often as we're going to use it. There were these white folks that couldn't wait to get on Twitter and call somebody a nigger with the ER or an AH. Who knows? But they couldn't wait. And this brings up this whole debate and topic in which we've had recently about freedom of speech, what's acceptable freedom of speech, what's not acceptable freedom of speech. And thank you, I am better. And the debate is, this is America. You should be able to say whatever you want. And I say yes, to a point. To the point where we know you cannot do slander or libel. You can't go into a movie theater and yell fire because that'll get you arrested. Your freedom of speech is limited to what's impact it has on society. And the reason why this has become such a hot topic now is because Kanye, off of his meds, has been out of absolute pocket. And now people say, well, there are some things that Kanye has said that is truthful. And that is you are 100% right. But it's so much chaos and mayhem in it. That was a shout out to Manuel. So much mayhem in it that messages get lost and people get offended and we start to see the worst of society shows itself. And that goes, so Kanye West, he's been censored on every platform you can think of. IG, Facebook, whatever. So he's like, oh, Elon is on Twitter? Oh, let me get on a tweet. Let me get to tweeting. And he tweets the N-word. And Twitter censors him. They take his ass down. And it just goes to show that this is not, these arguments, the things that we have been faced with lately, have nothing to do with if we're really talking about freedom of speech or not. They have everything to do with who can say what and who can't say what. Or can't, sorry. Baltimore slipped out a little bit. And then, so that goes to him then recently posting a picture of Kyrie Irving. And it's just a picture of Kyrie Irving. Doesn't say anything or whatever. And it's like, well, why did he post that? And it's because NBA star Kyrie Irving has been being dragged through the mud. And I don't want to say rightfully so, because all he did was post a picture of a documentary. And when he posted this picture of a documentary, he didn't say anything, no words, no comment, no caption, no come find the truth, nothing. He just posted the picture. And the documentary is Hebrews to Negroes. And apparently there's some anti-Semitic messages in the documentary. I haven't seen the documentary. But the big point of this is the documentary is still accessible. You can go watch the documentary on Amazon right now. You can go watch the documentary on Amazon right now. So there's some anti-Semitic remarks within this documentary, and it speaks on the fact that the Holocaust was not real. And we know for 100% sure clarity that the Holocaust was real. Okay, we're not disputing that. We're not arguing if it was right or any of that nature. We're literally just saying the Holocaust is real. Okay, and apparently in the film that becomes questionable debate. I haven't seen it yet. We'll talk about it next week because I'm going to watch it for research purposes. But Kyrie posted this. He gets all of this crazy backlash, and then the Nets go, all right, well, listen, Kyrie, to get you back on the team and to get you back into the good graces of the people, we just need you to take these steps. All of these steps. He's got to apologize. He's got to donate $500,000. First of all, let me before I get off on one of my tangents, he has to donate $500,000. He's got to meet with this person and get sensitivity training. He's got to meet with this person and do that. He's got to brush his teeth after every meal, floss in the morning and nighttime. He's got to tie his shoe double knotted so he doesn't slip on the basketball court. Fuck y'all. Okay? Now listen, I don't care what you have to say about Kyrie's message and what he did. He didn't say anything. He posted a picture. But everyone's coming in to chime in on some bullshit. He's got to do this and he's got to do that. No. What needs to happen is you have to hear what he's saying, because he's saying something very pertinent in his message. He did an interview, and in the interview he said, listen, where were you when this was happening to my people, black people in America? Where were you when slavery was a fact? When were you where the lynchings was at? Where was you when all the dogs needed help? Lawyers, he was just asking the right questions, because America does this thing we've talked about on this show multiple times. They turn a blind eye to what's happening to the black race in America, because that's okay. So because it's in the NBA, all of these NBA players, former players, teams, all these things, they're coming out with these very sharp and strong statements against Kyrie, right? It's, oh, he's this, he's that. So we get the TNT, the NBA on TNT team, which is Shaq, Chuck, Kenny, and I can't think of the white bald dude's name. Ernie, got it. There we go. And Chuck came out and said some things, and then Shaq came out and was like, I don't even know why we're talking about this idiot. And that's my best Shaq impersonation, because I don't actually know what the fuck he says 94% of the time. But he calls Kyrie Irving an idiot, right? For posting a photo of this documentary. And he's like, we're talking about Mr. Kazam himself. Y'all remember that movie? Or was it Shazam? Kazam? And Sinbad did another one with the maybe it was Shazam. Anyway, Shaq came out and he made this why are we talking about this idiot? And he said something again. He said, all people should have to go through some type of shit if they do something. But he called Kyrie an idiot. And that was fine, but you have to be careful, because Black Twitter will call you on your shit immediately. Black Twitter they couldn't wait. They was like, wait a minute, Shaq said what? Didn't Shaq screen this documentary at one of his theaters? And the answer is yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Shaq has gone out publicly to say that Kyrie Irving's an idiot, but Dickhead hosted a screening for said documentary. So this is just that thing with ye who was without sin cast the first stone. Just shut the fuck up. Sometimes you don't need to have an opinion. You don't have to say shit. You shut the fuck up. So now Shaq is getting all of this backlash. And if Shaq didn't say anything, Shaq would have done his screening, because the screening was months ago, and nobody would have said a goddamn thing. But you brought this on yourself. Now, we always argue this point of what can be said, what cannot be said. Players who have a platform, people who have a platform, not just players. And it's a very American thing that when a black man says something that not even says anything, posts a picture where you can find something anti-Semitic, you skip over the fact that his message is, hey, black people in America are being treated like shit, which we all know. Let's be very clear about this. America knows. White people know. They pretend they don't know. Oh, I don't see color. I don't see race. They know. They know because they don't want to come to the hood. When black people do something, it's, look at all this black on black crime. Shut the fuck up. There's so many things that we know in America, right? Now, anti-Semitism is not a big thing here in America on the surface. Sure, it bubbles underneath the surface because people just, they're going to hate. But everyone in this country knows, right? Black men, white men, Jews and Gentiles, sorry, Dr. King, know what is happening, what has happened, and what will continue to happen to the black race in this country. But no one ever gets checked for it, right? They profit off of it, as Kanye said. They promote our music, they promote our movies, anything that they can do to capitalize off of what the black struggle is in America, they do, right? How many slave films have you seen? Too many. Wait, sorry, I'm reading something real quick. Thank you. This check impression, I worked on it 3 hours before I got here. Are y'all on or off of Kyrie Irving? Oh, this is you. He knows his audience. Never mind. Manuel was doing shit. I'm trying to go live. I'm trying to be with the people. I'm trying to answer your questions and make your comments pertinent in this live showing. But everyone in America knows. Kyrie called it out. And instead of saying, hey, there's something that we have to do here about this, they just double down on their anti-Semitism. And that's always the approach here in America. The for-profit prisons, the privatized prisons, the fact that you can get your $1 billion, build a prison, and get all of that prison labor, because that is our new slavery here in America. Just check the amendment. The only allowable slavery is there. So that's where these companies who make, and let's be honest, all of the uniforms that you've ever seen in any job, right? So if you go to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Home Depot, wherever you see those uniforms, that company is Concentra. Concentra has a direct relationship with most of the privatized for-profit prisons because they get their uniforms for pennies and they hand them out to their people. Like, please understand that this privatized prison system is something that's lucrative here in the States. So Governor Newsom signed a bill to close them here in California, which is a kudos. Kinda. And here's why. Because privatized prisons only hold 14% of the prisoners in these United States. 14, that's all. That means the other 86% are in our regular government-run prisons. And that is the problem, because what's happening is these government-run prisons are still contracting out this labor and the products that are made. So whether, even though it's not for profit per se, it is absolutely a profit-based system. And this goes back to the fact that we're not rehabilitating our criminals. We're not putting in the time, the work to figure out why they are where they are, what's making them do what they do, and how to improve them out. No, we get them in jail, we milk them for as much labor as we can, we send them back out on the streets, hoping for a repeat offense so that we can get them back in jail, get them, milk their labor, send them back out on the streets, and all we do is hope they don't kill anybody in the process. Because in these United States, black men are 5 times more likely to be arrested than white men. Surprise. Even though we're more than tripled in population number. And that just goes to what the prison complex of America is in general. We in America have the highest prison population than any other country in the world. We have more prisoners than China, right? And then if you look at the marquee, right, it's like, oh, we only got a couple more 100,000 people than China. China's population dwarfs ours. I think we sit at 300 million as a population here in these United States. Thank you. And China is sitting with 1.4 billion. 1.4 billion. They have 1.4 billion people, and yet somehow we have 300,000 more people locked up. Reagan is holding a private war. And yes, at the time we're like, oh, no. It's been confirmed time over time, document after document, that Reagan was completely complicit in what was happening. And so, how did they fight this war against the Contras? They needed money. Where'd they get money from? Drug sales. What did they do? They got the money from the drug sales, bought weapons illegally, sent them down to South America so they could fight this war. So they needed drugs to be turned over. They needed it to be turned over. And so, what did they do? They said, we can give it to the niggas, arrest the niggas for using it, get them in jail, get them to make the clothes for the military, then send them back through the system. Now you can't get a job again because you have a felony offense. We're going to take this money, fight this war because communism, I don't know, whatever bullshit that they made up. But the war on drugs in the community and what was happening in the black community was a perfect cycle of how they treat us. And these are the things that I believe Kanye, and Kyrie were trying to say. And there's also a big conversation about there were 12 tribes of Israel, and we're one of the tribes of Israel. And I'm not disputing any of that. I'm just saying you have to know your audience, and you have to know who's watching you, and you have to know what arena you're in, because you're in America. And as I said before, you can't forget that you're black in America. Okay? And so no matter what, you either have to play by the rules or the system puts you down. So the only way you can dismantle the system, honestly, is from inside out, not outside in. Now, why do I say it's systemic? Let's rewind, fast forward from the war on drugs to today, where we now have an opioid epidemic in this country. These kids, this fentanyl, these opioids, out of pocket, out of control. People are losing their lives, and it is here's the thing, it's a tragedy. I'm not trying to say it's not a tragedy, but you know what it's not? It's not a war on drugs. You haven't turned on TV yet to see one of those motherfuckers go, hey, we are coming for you if you've got opioids. No. Now it's a time for compassion. You're on drugs? Billy's on drugs, Manuel. Let's get him some help. Let's get him into an institution. He needs rehab. He's not... Yes, he raped and killed that woman, but he's not a criminal. It was drug-induced. Miss me with the bullshit. Miss it. Because when it's dark, it's not a problem. When it's light, white, and bright, oh, it's a problem. We in America have a sickness. The sickness is racism. But America refuses to do anything about that. You don't go to Germany and see a statue of Hitler anywhere, right? You don't see any World War II Nazi statues littered in the country going, well, they were nationalists. They were patriots who wanted to honor the system of Germany. Oh, no. He was just a great commander. Goebbels was a great commander. It doesn't exist because Germany has said, we fucked up. We will never, that is a stain on our history, on our society, and we will not honor that. But here, in these good old fucking United States of America, they can wave a Confederate flag whenever they want. We're arguing day in and day out about statues that need to go get pulled down. There's a Robert E. Lee school here. There's a Stonewall Jackson school here. America knows racism is a problem. America doesn't give a fuck that racism is a problem. And that's what happens. And that's what's happening to a Kyrie Irving. Kanye's lost his fucking mind. Fuck him. But to anyone who's going to have a message of, hey, black people, let's get it together, it has to come from us. And we have to fix home first. Because America has told us time and time again, and doubled down time and time again, they don't give a fuck where we land. God damn it, Emmanuel.
Sorry.
Live as shit. We live right now, god damn it. They don't give a fuck where we land. They will abuse us, use us, and then get rid of us. Yeah, fix home, people. We gotta fix home, and it's going to start with education. Kyrie Irving said it. He said, "I never understood what they meant by if you want to hide the truth from black people, put it in a book." We have the world at our fingertips, the world of information at our fingertips. Legitimately, you can find whatever you need. right? Pick up the old books, pick up the stories, listen to the fact that there are historians telling you your truth, your origin, and what you are. Instead of the fact that since we've been freed in America, we've had to go through Jim Crow, lynching, burning down the first black newspaper, burning down Black Wall Street, people being lynched for getting education. Please understand, America knows, but it's time for us to know. And it's time for us to take that knowledge and do something with it. Before we get out of here, tragedy hit this last week, where Takeoff from the Migos was accidentally shot and killed at a dice game. And it's tragic, but I will say this. I've never played one dice game that's ended well. Just for us as a people, dice may not be the game we need to keep playing. We can play craps at the casino. I have never played one dice game that has ended well. Niggas try to catch your dice. Never once. Now, back to the severity of this story. So, he was shot and killed. We don't know. Apparently, there are stories that he was shot by his own entourage. There are stories that he's shot by another side. We lost a life. We lost someone who took himself from the bottom and it made himself an imprint on society. So that's you. So we as a people, as a black people, have to do better at taking care of ourselves. We just really do, man, because we're losing a lot of talent. I've grown up with some people who were way funnier than I will ever be and never made it past 8th grade, 9th grade.